Most business owners that I speak to don't have a fat loss problem. They have a restart problem. And what I mean by that is there's a common pattern that happens within your weeks. Monday, you're eager to get going, you're ready to attack, and you're all in. Tuesday comes along, you start networking, the meetings start to flow throughout the week, and things are still pretty good. By the time Wednesday, Thursday comes, you're now still in the midst of networking, the conversations, client meetings, traveling up and down, and your energy starts to suffer, and your training, your nutrition starts to slip slightly. And then from there, Friday comes around and it's very reactive, very much within the moment of doing what you can when you can. And by the time the weekend happens, you're sat there on a Sunday thinking, I didn't really, now that week, it didn't really last. I've repeated the same mistakes I've always been repeating. I feel like I failed the plan because it didn't actually nail what I laid out to do. Which leaves you thinking it's a discipline problem. It's not. This is your problem. Problem being, you run your business one way, but yet you run your health a completely different way. In your business, you know you're going to crop up against problems. You know meetings are going to overrun. You're going to have to build some travel into it. You know that things aren't going to go to plan. Deadlines are going to have to be moved around and certain tasks may not be completed. But that doesn't mean that you failed your week. But your fitness plan, you're planning for perfect weeks. 5 workouts a week, super clean eating, super strict dieting. If I'm being honest, that plan is only going to work when life's quiet, when there's no pressure, when there's no time constraints. And if we're being honest here, as a business owner, when do you actually really have a quiet week? When do you actually have a perfect week? So you're all in and it's just go, go and go, eating clean, smashing your routine to the start at the start of the week. But then when it comes into the midway point, when fatigue starts to set in, the week gets a little faster paced, meetings start getting shifted around, more client meetings crop up, and that pressure appears and rises, that approach that you're currently running and you previously run in the years before, it collapses. You question if it's a willpower problem, a discipline problem, or if you're just a little bit lazy with it. And sometimes it can feel like excuses. But you're not lazy. You don't lack discipline. You don't lack willpower. You've got it. The reason why it keeps failing is because the plan wasn't built for you. It wasn't built for the chaotic weeks, those crazy periods when pressure rises. It's built for a perfect quiet week, and those weeks don't happen. It's not you that's actually failing the plan. The plan's failing you because it's not actually built for you, your life, or your business. Inside Becoming Unstoppable, we do things completely different. We don't plan for perfect weeks. We don't run a plan for a quiet week. And we certainly don't run your training, your nutrition off routines. We play it from standards. And it's called the adaptive method. What the adaptive method is we actually look at your weeks and we lay out a standard that is a minimum dosage. You know, if you do the minimum amount, you can still make that progress. But you know, if there's quieter spots within the week, you can raise that standard and do a little bit more. And if there is a quiet week or you've got a week off and you know you can just attack your health and fitness, well then we play for a max standard. But the minimum standard here always keeps momentum going and it always allows for progression. It is all based off of how your life, how your business is looking and how energy is impacted around that. Because if energy is unstable, then if you're just relying on a perfect week, it's going to break really quickly. This is why we have to play off these 3 standards. And when you can integrate these 3 standards into your life and into your business, then it's all going to work as one. You don't have 3 separate things. You now have the life, the health, the business, all ticking as one. Here's what a lot of business owners miss. Consistency isn't doing the same thing every week. Consistency is having a system in play that withstands life's pressures. That's what true consistency is. The highest performers inside Becoming Unstoppable, they don't have perfect weeks. They're succeeding so well because their standards are aligned to what's happening within their life and within their business, so they never collapse under pressure. And that's how they're always able to progress on, regardless of what's happening within their life. And that's something that needs to be paid attention to, because when you see your friend that runs a business, or you see someone on the outside, right, and they're doing really well with their health, and they're doing really well with the business, and they always seems to be at it, it's because they have set standards in play that are matched up to their life and business. And that's the biggest separation for where you are right now to where you want to go. You integrate these standards, fat loss becomes simple, energy becomes reliable and stable, and you become consistent 52 weeks of the year, not just some weeks on it, some weeks off of it. You're in shape year round. You've got stable, consistent energy, and allows you to have that consistent health that you really want. You're a male business owner at 35 plus, and you feel like you are restarting every time it comes to Monday. And as soon as life's pressures crop up, you're on it and off it. You don't need more discipline. You don't need willpower. What you actually really need is structure built around real life moments. So your training, your nutrition, your health doesn't break when life or business gets chaotic. You go in the comments below, I've put a short explanation of how I help my clients structure their weeks so their standards around their health don't break when pressure rises. Legends, I'll catch you in the next episode.